News Talk 820 WBAP at 6:18. It's the morning news. Ernie in for Brian along with Hal Jay. And we're going to spend a little time talking to Gabriella Hoffman. She is a political columnist, an award-winning writer, and with Young Voices, a commentator. Gabriella, thanks for joining us on WBAP.
Good morning. Howdy.
We're doing great. We're glad to have you with us. There was some elections the other day on Tuesday, and I know the media has been focusing a lot on Donald Trump's endorsements. I don't remember the media focusing on Barack Obama's endorsements, but for some reason, I guess Trump's good for ratings, and they keep coming back to him and trying to drag him into the election cycle again.
It's a default maneuver by many of my colleagues, media colleagues on the left, certainly to default to him, to whether obfuscate coverage of kind of the dismal policies of the Biden administration. So they want to find a hook, and they certainly know the former president garners a lot of ratings, so they find a hook, try to pin any losses on him or any successes on other factors and things of that sort. So he still plays very well to the media, and they certainly miss having him around on social media, too.
Did his endorsements make any difference?
It was kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. I would say for the most part, he probably had a very good night, if you're looking at things empirically speaking. And then, obviously, some of the endorsements didn't really carry so much weight. I would say in the case of, let's say, North Carolina, Madison Cawthorn, one of the youngest Congress people elected. The problem with him, it wasn't so much the Trump endorsement coming in late, trying to help him. The guy had a lot of scandals, and endorsements couldn't save him. You have to also be a very good candidate or someone who knows what your constituent wants. And Trump perhaps tried to rehabilitate his fledgling campaign, didn't necessarily help. It isn't really so much an indictment on the president. It's more so the indictment of the incumbent who lost. And then you look in Pennsylvania, up and down the ballot, I would say his endorsement carried a lot more weight. And we're still finding out the results of what is going to happen in the Pennsylvania Senate race. And we'll see what happens from there.
All right. Yeah. Has Trump, by any chance, in his speeches where he endorses a candidate, has he toned it down any? A lot of people have said, I'd vote for him again, but if he'd just tone it down some. Has he toned it down any at all on the road?
It depends on whom you ask, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. It's an opinion question, without a doubt. But, the name calling and all that kind of stuff, I just kind of wondered if you think he has toned it down.
I would hope he probably learned his lessons from 2020 and what not to replicate if he were to decide to run again for 2024. Obviously have some reflection, see where you did wrong, acknowledge where you can improve from the loss in 2020, and if he decides to run again, what not to do for 2024, and kind of obviously know his place as a kingmaker. He does carry a lot of weight in politics. People look to him. People want to seek out his endorsement. And if people don't get his endorsement, they still try to say, well, I'm the most Trump-aligned candidate. So he is very influential, and he will be influential in probably the next 2 to 4 years, especially mounting whether or not he runs another presidential campaign.
Gabriella, thank you very much.